your first consulting client. First thing, if you're just getting started and you want to find that first consulting client, the first thing that you should do is leverage your first degree connections. So who are these people? Well, these are people that you are directly connected to, that you could send an email to and they would respond, or that you could pick up the phone and have a conversation with, or that you could invite them directly for a lunch or a coffee meeting, whatever it might be, right? They're people that you know. Maybe you don't know all of them very, very well, but they would know who you are. That's low-hanging fruit. You want to reach out to these people right away. You want to reach out to all of these people. Don't hold back. Go after all of them. Let them know what you're doing right now. Find out what they're up to. Look to see, are there any potential ways that you might be able to support them, to help them? That's a great place, and yet I see many consultants who don't do that. And I'm not talking about just people who you think right now might be ideal clients. I mean, talk to everybody. Because oftentimes what will happen is someone that you know, who you don't think is an ideal client, may know someone that could be an ideal client. You know, I've heard stories of consultants who talk to someone, you know, let's just say a school teacher that they know, maybe it's a teacher of one of their children, and that teacher is then getting their hair done, and the consultant has told them what they're up to, and then they're at the hairdresser, and they overhear someone talking about, you know, that they work at this large company and they're looking for help in this specific area, and now the teacher knows about you as the consultant, can say, well, actually, you know what? One of my students' parents is doing exactly that. I'd be happy to connect you. Like, that could never happen if they don't know what you're doing. Now, you might say, yeah, Michael, the chance of that is so slim. Yeah, sure, but there's a chance. There's no chance if those people don't know. So all of your first degree connections, everyone that you've worked with in the past, whether it's a boss, a vendor, a supplier, a friend, a relative, anyone that you know, reach out to and let them know what you're up to. Number 2 is second degree connections. Okay? And so second degree connections are people that you don't know directly. So you're here. Let's say an ideal client of yours is here. So this is you. This is an ideal client. And this, we'll say, is your first degree connection. So you don't know the ideal client directly, but you know this person, and this person knows your ideal client. So what you then want to do is go out to all of these people who are your first degree connections, who are connected to your ideal client, which is a second degree connection, and say, hey, I know, or I see that you're connected to this person. Can you put me in touch with them? And in many cases, they'll say yes. Now, if they don't say yes, or if they don't respond, then what you can do is go directly to the ideal client, reference the person you both have in common, and that can often start a conversation for you. So number 1, first degree connection. Number 2, second degree connections. Number 3, and these are this is really important that you do these. A great place to understand how this all works is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn will show you who your first degree connections are, who your second degree connections are, and you can filter some search criteria to really identify those ideal clients. Number 3 is direct outreach. And so it kind of touches on what I just mentioned here, this dynamic of going directly. But let's say that you are here, your ideal client is here, and there's no one that connects you. There's no person in common that can connect you. Well, then what you want to be doing is you want to go directly to them. And you want to do that in a way that isn't all about spam and hype and promotion and sales, but rather, especially if you're in the consulting business, right, you want to be focused on adding value, creating relationships, being relevant for them. So reach out to them. Find out what's going on. Let them know, comment about an article that they wrote, or some news you saw about their company, or how you've worked with others in their industry before, right? The name of the game is to get on the radar of people. If you're going to be a good consultant, it means that you already have expertise and experience in your subject matter, like in your domain, right? In your industry. So your challenge is not your skills or expertise. Your challenge is marketing. Your challenge is getting to be visible so that your ideal clients know that you exist, so that they're then able to hire you. So direct outreach is a really good step to take after you've done number 1 and number 2. Number 4 is not so much about targeting, right? These are more about targeting and more about conversations. Number 4 is more about how you start to think about winning that first client. And the key to this is sell what they want to buy. So a big mistake that many novice consultants make, or early stage consultants, is they try and force their methodology, their package, their offering down the throat of a buyer. And if a buyer doesn't want that, if it's not what resonates with them, if it doesn't really speak to the current problem that they're having and the solution they're actively searching for, then they're not going to buy. It's going to be a much more difficult sale to make. Or if you're offering something that is so new that no one's ever thought of it before, and you haven't validated that the market actually wants it, it's going to be an uphill battle. So the key is to use these 3 steps to create conversations with ideal clients. And then in those conversations, to validate and confirm what it is that they actually want and how that ties into what you can provide. And then sell what they want to buy, right? What they want to buy, not what you want, what they want to buy. Find out what is it that they're looking for right now, and then offer it to them. Say, would something like this, something that had these things in it, would that be helpful for you? And they'll say, yeah, because that's just what they told you that they want. And so it becomes a much easier sale to make than trying to ram your concepts, your methodology that they might not want. So figure out what is it that they want, and then how do you position your offerings and your expertise so that it aligns with that, and then offer it to them, right? Offer it as a path to solving the problem that they have and getting the result that they want. When you follow these 4 steps and work them consistently, you're going to be able to land that first client much faster and make a lot more progress